Imagine being alone in the desert, surrounded only by sand, rocks, and silence. The sun beats down on your skin, and all you hear is the sound of the wind cutting through the stones. Suddenly, something impossible happens. A bush, an ordinary dry shrub, begins to burn before your eyes, but it does not burn up. The fire blazes intensely, yet the leaves remain intact. The branches do not turn to ash. This was the moment that forever changed Moses' life. A man who until then believed his time had passed, that his mistakes had disqualified him from God's purpose. However, God chose exactly this moment, in this unlikely place, to speak to him. Not just to speak, but to reveal a great destiny. Before the burning bush, Moses was just a fugitive. He had grown up in the Pharaoh's palace, but after killing an Egyptian to defend a Hebrew, he had to flee and spent 40 years hiding in Midian. 40 years away from everything, tending sheep that were not even his own. For many, that would have been the end of the story. But God does not see as man sees. What seems like lost time is preparation for God, and it was there, in the middle of nowhere, that Moses saw the extraordinary within the ordinary. The burning bush was more than a visual spectacle. It was a call, summons for an impossible mission, to free an entire people from the slavery of the greatest empire of the time, and the most incredible thing. God chose a man who had failed, who considered himself incapable, to lead the impossible. As Moses approached the bush, he heard a voice that changed everything. God said, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground." It was not the mountain, nor the bush, nor the desert that was sacred. What made that place holy was God's presence. This teaches us something profound. The ordinary becomes sacred when God is present. Sometimes we seek the extraordinary in great temples, in moments of glory. But God can manifest in the silence of the desert, in forgotten routines, in places where no one else sees value. It was exactly there that Moses discovered that God still had plans for him, and that is true for you as well. Even if you feel forgotten, in dry land, God can turn your desert into an altar of revelation. But the dialogue between God and Moses was not simple. Moses was afraid. He questioned. He tried to run from responsibility. Who am I to free Israel? And what if they do not believe me? I do not speak well. Moses laid all his fears, limitations, and insecurities before God, and God responded with a truth that still echoes today. I will be with you. It changes everything. It is not about who you are, but about who is with you. It is not about your abilities, but about the presence of the one who sends you. Moses was not called because he was perfect. He was called because he was available. And the burning bush was the sign that, even amid weakness, God still lights the fire of purpose. The bush also represents something much deeper. It burned, but was not consumed. This symbolizes God's presence that surrounds us, transforms us, warms us, but does not destroy us. Many are afraid to approach God, thinking they will lose their identity, their dreams, their freedom. But the truth is that, like the bush, when God enters our lives, He ignites us from within, without destroying us. He reveals who we really are, gives direction, clarity, and purpose. Moses left that encounter with the most challenging mission anyone could imagine, but he also left with the conviction that he would not be alone. And that certainty is what sustains anyone who decides to say yes to the call. This story is not just about Moses. It is about me, about you, about everyone who has ever felt small before a mission too big, about everyone who has ever thought time had passed, the mistake was too great, the desert lasted too long. The burning bush reminds us that God still speaks, that He still calls, that He still sends. The same God who appeared to Moses in a burning bush appears today in different forms. It can be in a moment of prayer, in a word that touches deeply, in a situation that makes you stop. The fire still burns. The mission still exists. And the call is still echoing. So the question is, will you take off your sandals and approach? If this message spoke to you, share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that God still calls in the desert. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any story that rekindles your faith. And comment below, what is your burning bush? Let's spread the presence that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary together. Ow! See you in the next video.